y'all, me and Munchie just taking a drive. And I'm just sitting in here just having a conversation with God as usual. But what I was saying to God is I want him to help us, his children, to come to an understanding that the only reason Satan would come against us, like they say, a robber will never go and rob an empty house. A robber only goes for a house he knows that something is in there that's valuable. We have to understand that Satan thinks like that too. Satan knows that if God has spoken a thing over somebody, if God has put things within somebody, he knows that the only way that we can forfeit and mess up what it is that God has for us and wants to do with us is if we come into agreements with what he thinks. But what we have to realize is that Satan don't even believe that we can't do the things that God has said. And the reason I say that is because Satan knows that when God speaks a thing over anything and anybody, he knows without a shadow of a doubt that that thing is going to come to pass. But he knows that if he can get to us before partnering and truly believing in what God is saying about us, he knows that he can mess up some stuff. He knows that he can mess it up. But I want y'all to understand that we have to start truly grasping and understanding that if Satan can believe what God says about us, then we need to start believing what God says about us. Because Satan knows that we can do what God says we can do. That's why he puts lies in our head. That's why he tries to cause us to believe things that are not true about ourselves. God has plans for us, big plans for us. And I was just saying to God, like, it's not that I'm being lazy, but he wants us to think big. He wants us to think big, dream big, hope big. But the way that I look at it, my way of dreaming big, my way of hoping big, my way of big thinking is just wanting what God wants for me. Because the truth is, we can never outthink God. We can never want better for ourselves than what God wants. So the way that I think big is just wanting what God wants for me. Because in wanting what God wants for me, I'll automatically get the best of the best. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, just when you don't know how big to think, because you can think something, but God gonna always override the thought that you have for yourself. He's always gonna override the things that you want for yourself. Everything that God gives us, everything that he brings into our lives is going to always over exceed what it is that we could ever want for ourselves. So the best thing to do is just when you pray, especially when you don't know what to pray, just pray that his will be done in your life. Because like I heard somebody else say, which is true, in praying God's will to be done over your life, you can never go wrong with that. You can never go wrong with praying that God's will be done in your life. That's the best prayer, the most accurate, smartest prayer that we can ever pray for ourselves, is that God's will be done. But yeah, that's just what I was thinking about. I'm just riding, me and Munchie, getting some fresh air. But yeah, that's exactly what came to my mind in the conversation with God. God got some big plans for his children. But like I said in one of my posts, like, I don't know what to expect, but I do expect the unexpected. And when you're expecting the unexpected, you have to stay in position to receive just that. So I always just pray that God helps me to prepare my heart, my mind, and my hands to receive what it is that he is about to entrust me with. Because I'm done with making mistakes. I'm done with messing up. And my fear, which I know that God doesn't want me to fear, but my biggest fear is messing up what God is trying to do in my life. My biggest fear is messing up. I don't want to mess up my life anymore. I don't want to do things my way anymore. I want to do things God's way. I want to do things his way. I want what he wants for me. And even though I don't know what that is, I know that it's the best thing that I could want for myself. It's the best thing that you could want for yourself. Doing things my way has gotten me to where I am at 43 years old. A place where I'm a little ashamed, because at 43 years old, you just would think that your life would be a little bit more established, especially financially. But I made those mistakes, and I allowed my life to get in the place where it is. But I'm so glad that there is a God that forgives, a God who saves, a God who loves, and a God who is willing to help us correct our wrongs and help us to make things right. And I thank God for who he is in my life. So we may not be exactly where we would like to be at the age that we are, but we just got to thank God that we're not nowhere near where we were, because I know for a fact I'm nowhere near where I was last year this time, and I'm so grateful. Yes, last year this time I had a job, but this year this time I don't have a job. But last year I didn't have the platforms that God has blessed me with. But I have them now. So that's why I say I may not have a job physically for man, but I have a job with the Lord. And that's doing what I'm doing right now. Motivating, encouraging, uplifting, being there for other people, helping other people to know that they're not alone in what they're going through. They're not alone in feeling the way that they're feeling. They're not alone struggling in life. Like, we all are struggling. We're all going through something right now, and we all need God's help. Whether some people want to acknowledge him and admit it, we all need God's help. Every single one of us, believers and non-believers, we need God's help. We need God's help. And he wants to help us. He wants to help us. He's looking for someone to help. All you got to do is raise your hand and let God know, I need you. I can't do this by myself. And he will reach out and grab you and help you. He will do that for you. But he's not going to force you. You got to invite him in. Just like you willing to invite everybody else in and everything else in your life, you have to invite God in. and let him know that you want him to be a part of your life, your situation. Like I had said in one of my posts, like whether we live or die, we have to get in a place where if we were to leave here today or tomorrow, you have to get in a place within yourself and with God of knowing that when you leave here, you know where you're going. And that's what I want. I want to get to a place where, like what my granddaddy was, and I've seen other people who are dying on their deathbeds, and they could say, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And that's where I want to get to. I want to get to a point where I don't care if I live or die, because I know that it's a better place on the other side of all of this that's waiting for me. I don't want to be scared to die. I don't want to be scared. I want to be okay with, if I live, I'll have a good life. And if I die, I'm going to have a good life because I chose God. I chose God. He chose me, and I chose him. I want that for myself. I want that for myself. And I want that for you all too. And God wants it for us too. God don't want us out here just winging it. Life is not meant to be easy. Like I was just telling God before I got on this camera, life isn't meant to be easy. But he promised us that we wouldn't have to do it by ourselves. He promised us that we wouldn't have to do it by ourselves. And I told God it's just kind of hard sometimes because we can't physically put our hands on him. We can't physically see him. But he's there. He's there. Sometimes he will allow us to feel his presence. But I've been praying and asking God that as I walk with him in his ways and be obedient to what it is he wants me to do, I just pray that as I walk through the valley, as I walk through the wilderness, that he just holds my hand a little bit tighter to let me know he's there. I know he's with me. I know he's with me. But I just want him to hold my hand a little bit tighter to let me know, daughter, I'm here. Daughter, I'm here. Daughter, I'm here. Because sometimes I believe that's all we want. That's all we need, is to just feel him and know that he's here. That he's here. But I just pray that everybody grab hold of God while they can. Grab hold of him while you can. Don't allow death to come knocking at your door for you to want to try to get your life right. Even though I do believe that people on their deathbeds, God still accepts them into his family and they make it into heaven. But why wait till you get on your deathbed? Why wait till you get on your deathbed to give God your life? Why not give it to him now while you're able to give him your best? Give God your life now. It's nothing in this world that's worth dying for and ending up burning for the rest of your life in eternity. It's nothing and no one worth that. Satan dresses up stuff to make things look a certain way, but nothing is ever worth dying and going to hell and burning in eternity. It's not. And I used to live that life. I used to drink, go out, get drunk, be promiscuous, sleeping around, popping ecstasy pills, cussing, having a bad, nasty attitude, all that. But I'm glad that God put up with me and that he was patient with me and he waited on me with open arms, not judging me. And I pray that God helps me to have that same attitude towards people, because it took me years, a long time, to get in position to what it is that God wanted for me. And I don't want to ever make anybody feel less than because they're not where I'm at. Because they deserve the grace. They deserve mercy. They deserve somebody that's going to be patient with them, just like God was patient with me. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. It takes time to get in a place of total surrender. It takes time. 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 And I'm going to be honest, in trying to get there, you're going to fall off the wagon several times. But just get back up. Wherever you fall off at, just get back up and get back on. Get back up and get back on, no matter how many times you fall short. We are not perfect. We will never be perfect. The only one who is perfect and will ever be perfect that has walked this earth in human form is Jesus. No one will ever be perfect. We won't be perfect until we get in heaven and hear, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. Well done." Well done. And I just can't wait. I can't wait till all of this is over, where we don't have to walk around seeing people hurting, seeing people in pain, seeing people in lack, in need. I can't wait till we able to see the Lord. I just imagine, what would it be like to stand in front of the Lord? I can't even imagine. But I want to get there. I want to see him. But while I'm here, I want to do what it is that he put me here to do. I've wasted a lot of my life just doing stupid stuff. But now I just want what God wants me to do. I want to do what he wants me to do. I want to do what he wants me to do. I want to do what he wants me to do. I'm almost home. Like I'm 2 minutes down, well, a minute down the street, but yeah, that's just the talk that I was having with God. I'm not perfect. I'm a mess. I'm a mess, but I'm God's mess. He knew I was a mess when he chose me. nothing about me is a surprise to God. Just like nothing about you is a surprise to God. So don't think that you're so messed up that God can't use you. Because like I told somebody last night, God is attracted to people who are not usable, who the world deems not worthy, not usable. God is attracted to messes. He likes to clean up. He's attracted to filth. He's attracted to dirt. He likes to clean up. So don't ever think that you're too far gone, that God can't use you. Those are the people that he desires the most. So I just wanted to get on here and say something. But I'm about to go in the house. And I hope y'all have a good night. And I will try to get on here at another time. But until then, I will see y'all later. Good night.